Okay, this is the review video for 7th grade Geometry Standards 2 through 6. Geometry Standard G2, number 13 was none. G3, number 6, it's just a 5-sided shape, a pentagon. Number 8, a square, rectangle, and circle could all be formed from slicing a cylinder. Number 9, if this is a cube, then every face is a square. Number 10 is B, a circle. Now for G4, number 13 is B. For G5, number 3, Y is 19 and the measure of angle CAB is 59 degrees. Number 5, Y is 12, choice A. Number 6, Y is 143 degrees. And sorry, number 5 was that X was 12. Number 7 is 117 degrees. Then moving on to standard G6. Number 1, the surface area is 272 square inches and the volume is 192 cubic inches. Number 8, the volume is 108 cubic inches. And number 9, the area is 18 centimeters squared. Okay, now to review the problems on G2 number 13, how many unique triangles can be drawn? Well, if you take the two shorter sides, 7 and 6, and you add them together, they've got to be greater than the longest side, 15. But this is false, so this is not a triangle. So there's no unique triangles there. G3, these are about cross sections. So number 6, if you slice through this pentagonal pyramid, you get a pentagon. Number 8, if you're slicing through a cylinder, it could be a circle. Or if you slice vertically from circle to circle through the cylinder, you either get a rectangle or in some cases you'd get a square. Number 9, all the faces are squares in a cube. And number 10, if you slice through a sphere and it does not go through the center, you're still going to get a circle because any way you slice a sphere gives a circle. Standard G4, number 13. These all have to do with circles. Miranda has a circular mirror with a circumference of 14.13 inches. What is its area? Use 3.14 for pi and round to the nearest 100. So we're given the circumference. We need to know the area. And what we can do is we need the radius for finding the area. So I'm going to use the circumference formula that uses radius. So I'm going to use C equal 2 pi r. And we're given the circumference is 14.13 equal to times pi, and it says to use 3.14, and we don't know the radius r. So we get 14.13 is equal to 6.28 r. So we're going to divide both sides by 6.28. The result is that the radius is 2.25. So now we need to get the last part, which is to find the area. We're going to use our area formula, A equal pi r squared, using 3.14 for pi. We're going to start with squaring 2.25. We get 5.0625, and then when we multiply 3.14 times that, we get 15.89625. Rounded to the hundredths place, that 6 will make this round up to 15.90. So answer choice B. Okay, standard G5 with angles. Number 3 refers to the diagram on problem 2. It says, suppose the measure of angle DAC is 2y minus 7, and the measure of CAB is 3y plus 2. Solve for y and find the measure of CAB. So we want to know what's the measure of this angle here. So we know collectively that these two angles form this 90-degree angle. So we could just add them together and say 3y plus 2 added to 2y minus 7 equal 90 degrees. Combining like terms, we get 5y minus 5 equal 90 degrees. We can add 5 to both sides to get that 5y is equal to 95. And then divide both sides by 5 to get that y is 19. And then it says to find the measure of angle CAB. So we want to know this angle. So we've got 3y, which is 19, plus 2. 3 times 19 is 57, plus 2 is 59, and that's 59 degrees. Number 5, what's the value of x in this figure? Well, we know this. We know that these two angles are congruent to each other because they are vertical angles. So we can say that 3x plus 1 is equal to 37, and we can use that little equation we've set out to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides to get that 3x is equal to 36, and then divide both sides by 3 to find that x is 12. Number 6 uses the same diagram, and it says, what is the value of y? Well, we know x is 12, and we could use that, but we could also just use this simple fact here that y and 37 are supplementary. So y plus 37 is equal to 180 degrees. So I could just solve that little equation, or I could have just simply subtracted to start with to find that y is 143 degrees. Number 7, in the figure below, what is the measure of angle ABE? So we want to know the measure of this entire angle. We know that angle EBC is 63 degrees, and they are supplementary because they add up to 180. So I could just simply say that this measure of angle ABE plus 63 is equal to 180, and we'll subtract 63 from both sides, or you didn't necessarily have to use an equation here. Just subtract because it's supplementary, and you get that angle ABE is 117 degrees. Standard G6 has to do with formulas for surface area, volume, and just area in general. So it's a lot of using formulas. Number 1, Gabriel has a box of cereal. What is the surface area and what is the volume? And one thing I'll note is that you can repeat some of the information you used from surface area to help you find the volume. So I chose the base to be the bottom rectangle of this box. So we say length times width, or base times height. And that's 8 times 2, which is 16. Now, I could go ahead and find surface area by knowing that there are 2 of those. And then we've also got these other 2 sides. We've got this right side, this right face, where the area is 12 by 2, which is 24. And then we've got this front face, where the area is 12 by 8, which is 96. And so then to get the surface area, we know that we've got 2 times the base plus 2 times the right side to get right and left, and 2 times the front to get front and back. And that we can just go through and calculate that, and we get 32 plus 48 plus 192. Add those together and we get 272, and that is inches squared because it is an area. And then to get the volume, we already have this base, and so we say the volume is the base area times the height. In this case, the base area was 16 and the height is 12, so we just multiply that and we get 119. And since volume is a three-dimensional value, it's cubed. It's length times width times height, so it's in inches cubed. Number 8, what is the volume of the triangular prism shown? So we know our base is a triangle. So we're going to start with getting the volume of, or not the volume rather, but the area of a triangle, which is 1/2 base times height. And some know it as base times height divided by 2. It's the same. And we're looking at a triangle specifically. We're looking at this right here. So we have that the base and height just have to be at 90-degree angles of each other. So we can take the base as 8 and the height is 3, and say half of 8 times 3, that's 4 times 3, which is 12. And then we're going to get the volume, which is the base area times the height. We just found the base area to be 12, and the height's the distance between these two bases, which is 9. And so the volume, we get 108, and that is measured in cubic inches. Number 9, what is the area of the arrow? This is a composite figure, so we're just going to separate it into two different parts. I'm going to start with this rectangle, and then we're going to look at the triangle, and then we'll just add them together. So starting with the rectangle, we know the area of a rectangle is length times width. You could use base times height. We've got that, we know the width is 2. We're not directly told the length, but we do know this. If we know this total is 9, and the other, the smaller part going across is 3, then we can say 9, and part of that is 3. Then we can say 9 minus 3 to get 6 for the length. Then the width is 2. So the area of the rectangle is 12 square centimeters. Now for our triangle, we have an area of 1/2 base times height. Well, we know that one of those values is 4, and then going 90 degrees from that is 3, because these are two dimensions that are at 90 degrees of each other. So we have 1/2 times 4 by 3. So half of 4 is 2, times 3 is 6. So now we've got the two areas, 12 plus 6, and we just add them together to get 18 square centimeters.